Bond is back, and he topped the box office this weekend, making $56 million in theaters across the country. One of the biggest openings since the pandemic began. However, it's second to last among Bond films in the Daniel Craig era, indicating it may take longer before the theaters are back to pre-pandemic levels, but we know that. I think you still got to wear a mask. There's other issues. Joining us now to discuss more, Sara Fischer, Axios Media reporter, Brent Lang, Variety executive editor of film and media. Sara, I didn't go, but I had family members that went to the theater. They were actually patrolling the aisles to make sure your mask was on right. So it's not a perfect situation yet at theaters. Is that what accounts for the second to last opening in terms of the debuts for James Bond?
Yeah, I think the pandemic still has something to do with it. You know, most theaters at this point are open, but I think you're right that people are cautious, especially thinking about this crowd. The type of people who are going to see James Bond films, Joe, tend to be older. But that also means that they tend to come to theaters later on, which means that we should expect to see a pretty healthy second weekend and third and fourth weekend continuing forward. I do think the test, though, is going to be, yes, James Bond did okay. It sort of met analyst expectations. Will other non-Marvel films be able to fare okay for the rest of the year? If they don't, Joe, it looks like we might have a box office that doesn't quite hit $5 billion for the year. And that would be a pretty big problem for the struggling theater industry.
And it's also was his last, right? I mean, if we believe him this time, he was a good James Bond. But how is James Bond holding up? Not everything holds up over time, and he's not canceled, Sarah. The James Bond I know is canceled for like a million different reasons. What's this guy like now? Is he real nice to the villains and everything, and doesn't shoot anyone? What is he? The old James Bond? What is he?
He's definitely not canceled, Joe, and I know Brett's going to have a lot of thoughts on this. James Bond is still a timeless classic, again, especially for that older theater goer who really likes this franchise. But I do think you bring up an important point. The film does need to embrace sort of new age ideology. They're thinking about bringing in more diverse sets of characters. I wouldn't say he's canceled yet, and audiences definitely still love him. This movie ranked really high on Rotten Tomatoes. And of course, you know, bringing in $56 million on your opening domestic weekend ain't bad either.